All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Schulte, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. All right, let's take a look at these markets because they've been all over the place. Thanks for tuning in. If you're just tuning in, let's take a look at corn. What's that corn table we've got for us as of late? All right, let's Maize down 8 3/4 cents to 745.5. But look at the range. That's going to be about 45 cents on the day there. So a decent range in corn. July's up off 2 1/4 cents to 719. We've also got 12.5 cent gain in the Dees, that new crop Dees, to 642 1/4. All right, how about soybeans? What do they got going on over in the soybean market? This is an update here. We've got May up 3 3/4 cents to 1664 1/4. About a 40-cent range on that May soybeans today. July up just 1/4 cent, almost basically unchanged. 1633 1/4. But let's look at new crop. I'm going to say new crop's lower, but how much is really going to be the question. New crop's off by 10.5 cents. That's almost 3/4 of a percentage, 0.72% lower. And that's 14.39 3/4 when it comes to price. How about Chicago wheat? Let's take a look at what's going over in Chicago. Do we still have a lock limit market? And we do. That May contract is lock limit up at 85 cents. 12.94 is last. July's up 26 3/4 cents to 12.02. All right, let's move right along to the hard red wheat in Kansas City. This one's all over the place. May's up 15 1/4 cents to 12.29 3/4. It's only 70 cents off the highs of the day. A 96 cent range. Boy, that'll tell you that market doesn't know what to do. We're up 29 cents in that July contract. 12.03.5. How about spring wheat in Kansas or Minneapolis? Minneapolis spring wheat. We've got that May contract up 29 3/4 cents. 11 to 76, and again that's a 55-cent range over in the May. 24 1/4 cents higher in the July at 11.45, and that too is 55-cent range in July. So lots going on as far as the ranges go. We've got some better boards over there when it comes to the wheat, but still very dangerous. How about cotton? We're off 42 points in that May contract to 116 even. That's nice and easy, isn't it? All right, let's bring in Todd Horowitz with Bubba Trading. He's in Chicago. All right, Todd. I'll say this: anybody that knows what's going to happen is probably lying. So now you just have to kind of wait and see and make sure you've battened down the hatches and got everything kind of buttoned up. What do you think?
Well, I agree with you, Scott. I think, look, to me, I look at the grain markets, they look great. Corn's down, it doesn't matter. I think that's just a buying opportunity. I think we're going a lot higher. I think there's so many issues in the overall economy that are going to drive these prices higher, and you're going to get some whipsaw back and forth. And remember, the higher the prices get, the more they move. And I think I see the same for beans. I mean, wheat is a whole nother animal. Wheat's part of a political commodity, which is obviously tied to Russia. And we've been locked limit. I think this is the 4th day. And interestingly enough, based on the options, it would be up the additional $1.35 tomorrow, as if it was opening right now in tomorrow's market. So these limit markets are going to keep going until we get some settlement out in Russia, and we'll see what's happening. And you now have the exchanges showing some fear. They've raised margins and they've limited day trading and expanded the limits again. So there's a lot going on, but overall the grain markets in general look terrific, and I think they're going a lot higher. And I think every dip is an opportunity to buy.
All right. Well, I mean, you're still bullish, obviously. Here's what I would say. Looking at say if you look at I don't even know if I can bring it up here real quick. Let's look at that Chicago wheat board. You've got that. Basically the front month limit up. May's limit up 85 cents, but right behind it, July is only up 27. So I'm thinking, Todd, tell me if you think I'm wrong here, but that smells a lot like there's people in May that have to get out of May, right? They can't buy the July and make it all go away. And so they're having to stick into the May, and they're still trying to buy the May, and that's why it's lock limit up. Because if you had to buy something, you could just buy July. You wouldn't have to kill yourself for the extra 60 cents. You know what I mean?
You're 100% right, Scott. Listen, we're in really severe backwardation in all the grain market, but especially wheat. And why? Because, of course, the fear month is always the front month of the one that's coming closest to delivery. And you take that into consideration, and plus it looks like they probably trapped a lot of guys short going into this.
Exactly
and suddenly you got a short covering rally that opens limit every day.
Yep. And it doesn't help to buy the next month out. That's what that tells me. I think you're right, too. I think we both agree. All right, stay right there. We're going to go away, pay some bills. We'll come back and talk livestock with Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading after this. All right, welcome back to Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shelley, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Let's take a look at what these cattle markets are doing. Let's start with live cattle. That's something that you're going to want to see. The live cattle market is, let's go right to April, up $1.57 to 137.35. That's 35 cents off the highs, right? So that's not too bad. We've got an 80 cent gain, in June, 133.32. So again, about 50 cents off the highs there in June. So live cattle hanging in there. Not a ton happening, but still a better board now that we've seen some easing of these grain prices. What about the feeders? Look at this. We've got that April feeder cattle market up $2.92 to 160.17, and that is closer to the high than it is low. We've got about a $4 range, and we've got April up $2.95 to 160.20. Again, with a $4 range. So not too bad for feeders when it comes to what's been happening over in the row crops. And then finally, before we get back to our guest analyst, let's take a look at lean hogs. Lean hogs rolling over here. April off 12 cents to 100 spot 32. But look at the range, about 4 cents, $4 in that range. So we're in the middle of it with the last price. May off 30 cents to 105.45. Let's bring in Todd Horowitz from Bubba Trading. He's in Chicago. All right, Todd, what do you think about the livestock?
I don't like it. I think that the cattle markets are having just a natural dead cat bounce here. This inflation is getting worse and worse every single day. It's got to have an effect at some point here. The overall economy is in really sad shape. Jerome Powell is hiding somewhere and not thinking about raising rates now, but somebody's going to have to do something, either opening the wells or raising rates. And otherwise, I think that, cattle is going to continue to remain weak. Today's action is really, to me, nothing more than a dead cat bounce. Hogs, I think, will hold, $100 because I think that's, a pretty good price, and they're much more in demand, and they're the next protein down the scale. So overall, I think the inflation is going to hurt cattle, which we have thought all along, and I haven't changed my thoughts there. And of course, last night crude was up at one point; it was up $15 a barrel last night. Before now, only being up about $3. So.
Yeah, well, it's like that's when it makes it feel like they had to buy it, right? That's just not people thinking I'm going to pay $130 because it's going to $150. It's really more like I'm going to pay $130 to get out, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Right. So, I 100% agree. Yeah. And unfortunately, I think there's still a lot of room to go. There's going to be a chase. So.
Well, yes, and with what the gas prices have done, maybe Powell and Fauci bought a cabin somewhere in the wilderness so they don't have to face anybody right now. Who knows? But that would probably be a good idea for both of them. All right. Really appreciate it. Thanks very much. That's Todd Horowitz, Bubba Trading. Scott. He's in Chicago. We're going to see you soon. Bring it back to Nashville so I can throw this back to Janet.